Do you want a little spice in your compact sedan? I think I might have a solution for you guys in this review today. Hey guys, it's Chris. In this video, I have the 2025 Kia K4 GT Line Turbo. Yes, I reviewed the base EX version a few months ago, but now we have the turbo trim with the upgrade engine, and I'm super excited to show you guys all of its different features, take it on a drive, and give you guys my final verdict to see how it compares against the competition. But you know what? It does have remote start, so we're gonna lock the doors, hold down the key fob, boom, on the first try. But hop in, this ride is free on me. But now, let's go ahead, drum roll, get into this review. Looking outside of the 2025 Kia K4 GT Line Turbo, this is your key fob with the Kia logo up front, as well as your remote start feature on this side of the key fob, your lock, unlock, trunk release, and panic button on this side right here. As good, this vehicle is $31,915, dressed in the Interstellar Gray Exterior on a black and red Syntex interior for $295. Now this version does also feature the technology package for $2,200, which does include your blind spot camera system, a surround view camera system, memory driver seat, ventilated front seats, a multicolor ambient lighting setup, as well as highway driver assist too, and a couple other features, all of which will be in the description below. But looking at your very aggressive exterior of this GT Line exclusive trim right here, you have a full LED headlight setup with your Ambient DRLs, which doubles as your turn signals, your LED low beams, which are up top, and the 6 dots right here are your LED high beams. You have a newer interpretation of the Kia Tiger Nose grille, front and center, with a new Kia logo up top, as well as a very aggressive front end chin on this GT Line trim. You also have a sensor for your Kia DriveWise driver assist technology, which you will try on the road. Coming over to the wheels, we have a 18-inch black aero spoke design wheel wrapped in the all-season tire. You also have blacked out mirror caps with your LED turn signals and side view camera system down below. Keyless entry for your front door handles. This right here is your window sticker. Check out the description below for all options and features of this particular trim right here. You also have a panoramic sunroof up top to give you air filling inside of the cabin. Now speaking of dimensions, it's 185.4 inches long from nose to tail. You also have a 12.4 gallon gas tank over here on the driver's side. And one cool style element I do want to talk about is the flush door handles right here in the rear door, or the seat pillar right there. This looks so cool, especially from the 3/4 rear angle. It looks like a concept car. Boom. Now back you have a LED tail light setup back here for LED brake lights, as well as your turn signals, and your reverse lights, which are down below in the rear diffuser. Now one thing that is missing is exposed exhaust tips for this GT Line Turbo trim. To open the trunk, you can use the smart trunk access. If you stand by in the vehicle when it's locked for 3 seconds, it will open up automatically, or you can use the release right here. Now opening the trunk, you will find 14.6 cubic feet of space. You can fold down the seats in a 60-40 split with releases on both sides. The CarPlay floor mats are right here, and you also have a temporary spare tire down below. You also have a handle to close the trunk, like so. But now, let me show you guys under the hood where all the action happens in the new K4. So let's go! Now one thing I do also want to mention too, while I'm on the subject of exterior styling, the front end, the headlights really remind me of the Sorento a bit, and the rear end reminds me of the Seltos with the LED taillight bezel. Let's get that prop right. There we go. Now you guys saw my review on the K4, the standard edition, a few months ago. That had a base engine, which is a 2-liter inline 4-cylinder, which made 147 horsepower. This right here is the upgraded motor. This is a 1.6-liter turbo inline 4-cylinder, which makes 190 horsepower and 195 pound-foot of torque. Gone is the 7-speed DCT transmission, and in its place is an 8-speed automatic torque converter transmission. As far as MPG figures go, it gets 26 in the city, 36 in the highway, and 29 combined, with a curb weight of 3,283 pounds on this version right here. I feel like reliability definitely will go up with this version right here, thanks to it actually having the 8-speed auto versus the 7-speed DCT transmission. Especially in like low-speed driving, you can really feel the DCT tendencies. But we'll talk a little bit more about that when we hit the road. I really like the exterior styling of this GT line trim. It looks so mean, so aggressive. That low end front chin does a whole lot to the exterior design. A lot more mature and I would say less youthful than the last generation, but nevertheless I'd still like a new exterior styling, as well as the interior, which is the main change. But now let's do the interior where all the action happens. So let's go. Of course, we are going to start in the back seats. This really does remind me of my Veloster. We have like the integrated door handle right here. It's so cool. Sitting by myself at 5'6", I have about 5 inches of legroom. As far as headroom goes back here, I have about 2.5 inches of headroom, which is very good for a compact sedan like this. Speaking of amenities back here, you obviously have your window controls over here in the door panels. This is a black and red Syntex interior. Air vents are integrated right here with 2 USB-C ports and a little spot for storage right there, and a storage compartment right there. You can't see that panoramic sun, which just gives you an airy feeling inside of the cabin. Here's a quick look to the cockpit right there. You can really see all the architecture with the rear seats right there, the way the whole seat back is like set up and so on. It's so cool. But now let's hit the cockpit where all the action happens. Hopping over here to the driver's seat, you have a 10-way power adjustable driver's seat with a 6-way manual adjustable passenger seat. You do have a power bottom support, as well as your back support, and a 2-way lumbar support is right over here. This is a black and red Syntex interior. This is a $295 option. And again, thanks to that technology package, you do have heated and cooled seats, as well as your memory driver's seat right here. 2 positions. All your window and mirror controls are integrated right here on the door panels, with your hood release, cluster illumination, your electronic parking brake, as well as your traction control functions right there. Manual tilt telescoping steering column with that adjustment right there. But stepping inside, whoo, it is hot out there. Whoo, so good to be inside. But looking at the interior, you do have this kind of two-tone red and black steering wheel, which I think is so cool. You have paddles behind the wheel with your light controls and wiper controls over there on that side. And the Kia logo is slightly offset over here on that side, which I think is pretty cool. And if you have OCD, it'll definitely get on your nerves. But looking over here at your steering wheel functions, you have all your cluster control as well as your driver assist functions on my left-hand side, with all my media and telematic functions and voice command stuff over here on my right. And you also have a drive mode button right here on the spoke of the steering wheel. This is the 12.3-inch cluster. I can change my drive modes between normal and sport right there. Very straightforward. And if I do activate the turn signals, I can also pull up my side view camera system or blind spot cameras on both sides. This is a 12.3-inch cluster. I can adjust all of my various different functions with the page button. So you have your driver assist page, tire pressures, MPG settings are right there, heading, and then back to driver assist right there. Everything is very straightforward and simple. You also have a 5-inch climate control display right here in the middle. So you can pull up all your various different climate control functions. If I hit this button, it will pull up inside of the main infotainment setup. You also have physical buttons further down below. This is your main home page right here. You also have embedded navigation. So let's try a navigation test. As you see, navigation is very quick and easy to find a prompt with no problem at all. But going back to your main home page right here, you also have wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. Now, doing a try a quick audio test, this version has the 8-speaker Harman Kardon sound system, so let's try it out. Now, the system definitely does have great bass and sound quality, and it's impressive for sure, and it's 10 times better than that standard 6-speaker sound system that they offer on the lower trims. I highly recommend this 8-speaker Harman Kardon sound system. You have your phone functions right there, some more CarPlay settings, voice memos, your weather, sports, valet mode. Now, under your setup function right here, you can change all your various different vehicle settings and so on. So under drive assist, you can change all your Kia DriveWise functions under that menu. Climate control functions are right there. You have some seat settings as well as light settings right there. Now, this one does have a multicolored ambient lighting setup. So as you can see, you have the blue strip right here under the dashboard, as well as on the front door panels right there. And it does also carry around over here to this side of the dashboard. And you can see a little bit more in depth right there. You can change your various different colors. So if I adjust the colors right there, I can go to a red, I can go blue, peaceful forest, which is like a green, dreamy purple, red, white. You can also set a custom color right here, so you can literally change between all the various different colors, and just hit OK to select in the middle. I think blue really pops on this type of day, especially during the daytime. Your door settings, your digital key right there, some more convenient settings for your service interval functions, and so on. Display settings, you can also adjust your sound as well as your various different user profiles. A preset button right there which you can adjust, which is the start button right there amongst these physical buttons on the dashboard. You can adjust that to whichever button you want, as well as the button on the stand, which is a preset custom mode. You can also change your displays for the cluster, as well as the central display right here. And you have some general settings over there on that side. Built-in owner's manual is right there inside of the infotainment setup. You can also get a better view of this 5-inch climate control display over here on this side. Your physical buttons are right here with your volume knob in the middle, hazard button, as well as your dual zone climate control right here. You can adjust your temperature. When you do adjust, it will come up right here inside of the menu. You can adjust your modes. And if you want to expand the view, like I mentioned a second ago, you can hit this button right there and it'll pull up the full-on expanded view. Now, looking further down below, you have 2 USB-C ports. That one's just for charging only. When it's illuminated orange, that's for charging and connectivity to the infotainment setup. You also have a 12-volt charger right here. Wireless phone charger right there. My iPhone's just chilling, no problem at all. Your push button starts, as well as your gear shifter, which is right here. You have your auto hold function on this side, as well as your parking sensors, and a button right there to activate your full-on 360 camera. You can go a full 3D view around the exterior, parking sensors or parking camera out back, as well as your front view camera up front. You can adjust your angles and so on from both the front as well as the rear. And you got a full-on 360 top-down view. If I put the vehicle into reverse, you have trajectory lines, so on. And then you have neutral drive and a manual mode over here on this side. 2 cup holders are a pretty good size. You can also slide them out to make this more for storage. There we go. So you can have like a more storage console right here. But you can also have the cup holders when you do push the buttons on both sides. You also have a center console with pretty good storage. I got my stuff in there right there. But up top, you have a auto-dimming rearview mirror. You also have your telematics stuff for your SOS, your LED illumination for the interior, your Kia Connect functions, as well as opening and closing your panoramic sunroof up top. But now, let's take the new K4 for a drive and see how it does in the real world. So let's go! Let's experience some boost. Finally, I'm reviewing the K4 GT Line Turbo. Now, speaking of visibility out the front, rear, and sides, I can see very good over the hood, as well as out the side mirrors and even out the back. You also have these camera mirrors on both sides when you activate the turn signals, which really comes in clutch with sideward visibility. Now, the first thing you notice is that the 7-speed DCT transmission is gone, and in its place is a torque converter 8-speed automatic transmission for smoother shifts and better reliability. And also to no jerking at low speed driving in traffic. Thank goodness. Now, speaking of your drive modes, you have a sport mode as well as a normal mode right there in the spoke of the steering wheel. So it really gives you like this cockpit kind of feel. You also have paddles behind the wheels to engage with all 8 gears. Though shifting could be a little bit quicker. This camera is so cool with getting into traffic. Now, speaking of ride quality, it is great. I do have a front strut suspension with a rear multi-link suspension out back. paired with a 18-inch wheel setup, and it provides a very smooth and refined ride quality. Earlier when I was doing some first-hand impressions, I was riding over some imperfections in the pavement, and it just really soaked up the bumps and translated out. Now, speaking about the exterior design, this looks a whole lot better, way better than the standard EX and LX version I reviewed a few months ago. This GT line trim, as well as the GT line turbo, which this one is right here, that front end chin just looks so much more mean and aggressive. Now, one thing that is missing on the rear as far as design goes, I feel like they could have incorporated a exposed dual exhaust setup. The exhaust is hidden under the rear bumper. Obviously, for modern cars, it's kind of, typical to have a clean rear look, as was a front end fascia, but I think that a dual exhaust setup would really make the whole exterior on the back look a lot more unique and different. I'm looking at you, the aftermarket companies out there, to innovate something for me. Now, speaking of the interior, you do have these dual 12.3-inch display setups right here. The main cluster right here has all my various different driver interface functions and so on right here at my line of sight. As far as the cluster over here, or the infotainment screen, you have wireless CarPlay, Android Auto, and embedded navigation. Now, the first thing I want to talk about too about the infotainment setup is that you have a 5-inch climate control screen right there, which as I'm driving right here, visibility, I can't see it at all. Now, from the passenger's perspective, you can see the screen, the 5-inch display, but from the driver's perspective, you can't see it at all. Now, when you adjust your screen controls with your physical buttons down here for your infotainment and your climate control functions, it will pull up in the bottom portion of the screen right there, showing you that you are adjusting your fan speed or your vehicle temperature and so on the interior. Now, on the interior, I have to say this color combination is fire. Smoke gray on the exterior, and then you have red accents on the interior. And I like that they actually put unique red accents around. They didn't just put it in the traditional spots. You have a little bit on the steering wheel right here, as well as in the center, with this Kia logo right there, which is kind of offset, which is bad for my OCD. And you obviously have red on the door panels and the center console and so on. Now, this version contains the technology package for $2,200, which does give you a multicolor ambient lighting setup, which really spruces up the interior. At nighttime, it's just a vibe, let me tell you. You can even see it during the daytime, the little yellow accents right there around the dashboard, as well as the front door panels. Also, too, with this technology package, you get heated and cooled front seats, which really aids with seat comfort. You have heated, cool seats, 10-way power driver's seat with a 6-way manual adjustable passenger seat. This side view camera never gets old. But you do also have a couple other features in that technology package, all of which will be in the description below. Now, quick talk about the powertrain. The base engine is a 2-liter inline 4-cylinder. That itself makes 147 horsepower. This right here is the upgraded mode. This is a 1.6-liter turbo inline 4-cylinder, which makes 190 horsepower and 195 pound-foot of torque. And it's paired perfectly with this 8-speed automatic transmission. Gets about 29 mpg combined in a car that weighs 3,200 pounds. Now, I'm going to try a quick 0 to 60 when we get up here. We'll go traction off. We're in sport mode. I'll just leave it in its automatic setting for now. And since we don't have the DCT transmission, we can brake boost. Oh yeah, that acceleration feels nice. Way better than that 2-liter inline 4-cylinder I reviewed earlier, a few months ago. Now, as far as the driving dynamics go, this is basically just a compact sedan with a faster motor. But if you go for like a full-on GT, for instance, let's say for the K5, as an example, you get like a more sporty suspension, active sound design. You get a couple more like sporty pretensions on the interior. But the exterior styling is really where you'll see the difference between the GT line and this. This is DJ Chris, and I'm going to bless your ears with 1 minute of audio from this 8-speaker Harman Kardon sound system. And that was 1 minute with DJ Chris. Passing it back over to you, Chris, with your car review. But what really impresses me about this K4 is the ride quality. Wow. Obviously I have a camera on my head, so you guys will be seeing like all the oscillation and stuff as I go over bumps and imperfections. But in person, it's just so smooth. And you know, a lot of these cars be going for like these big 19-inch wheels and none of that. The 18-inch wheels really gets the job done. But the ride quality is very impressive. Also too, the steering is very direct. You just put a little input and just it's ready to go. It sways side to side like a fighter jet. I feel like I'm in Maverick. Now, since we have nobody behind us, I want to try one more acceleration. The power feels so good. This right here is the trim that I'm super excited for. The EX didn't do it for me. This one definitely did, for sure. That camera mirror never gets old. And one thing I want to show you guys too as we sit here at the light is that I can also pull up my full-on 360 camera with the button right here. You can get a full 3D view around the exterior. You can go your front view camera as well as your side view camera. You can basically adjust all your various different angles right here, like I mentioned in my walk around. Front side view cameras and so on right there. And you also have a wide angle. This red interior is just sweet, especially paired with this smoke gray Interstellar Gray Exterior. I think this is my second favorite, just below the red, like a racing red exterior. Now that right there, that would look amazing. Now I do want to try the Highway Driver Assist 2 technology, so I'm going to set my adaptive cruise control right here. I can go all the way out to 4 following distances or all the way down to 1. I think 2 or 3 is the perfect middle ground. Even 1, I think, it still has a safety net built into it, so you're not following too close. But at certain times I feel like, oh, I don't have enough confidence and I need to switch back over to level 2 or 3. You also have lane keeping assist with steer assist, so if you do veer over your lane, it will pull you back over when the light turns green. I'll show you guys that real quick, but it will veer you back over into your lane, pull you over, and also give you like a little shimmy in the steering wheel. You have automatic emergency braking, lane keeping assist, and also too with that technology package, front view camera system front and rear with the automatic braking in the front and rear. The craziest part is just staring at this red steering wheel right here. It's so different, so unique. Could look like anything else on the road, but they made it unique. Got my adaptive cruise control. I'm just happy. Now, one thing I do also want to mention too, I did take it on a highway earlier, and even at about 60, 65 miles an hour, that longer wheelbase just made it so smooth at highway speeds, and the transmission was just so smooth in its highest gear possible, so you really didn't hear much of the engine, or even like the road imperfections, my bad, jeez, I can't talk. The road imperfections, you couldn't feel them at all with that front strut and rear multi-link suspension. I think that's what really shocks me about this setup right here. It's the ride quality and the engine. And just ready to go. The limitless torque that this engine just provides. Yes. And personally, as an enthusiast, I would get this over the base engine. Yes, you get all of the MPG benefits, 40 MPG on the highway, but this still gets 36 and you get the extra horsepowers. Now, as we get a little bit closer to the dealership, let me get to the conclusion of what I think about the new K4. Overall, I have to say the technology is phenomenal. I really like how everything is laid out. Besides the 5-inch climate control thing, which I find that is kind of annoying, especially from a driver's perspective, where you can't even see all of your visible different information and stuff. You can also hit that page button right there, like I mentioned in my walk around, to pull up a full-blown climate control menu inside of the full infotainment screen. But other than that, Technology is great. I just think they need to get rid of this 5-inch cluster thing for the climate control and add in a dual exhaust setup to make it look a lot more aggressive on the rear. I like the understated clean look design of the rear as well as the front end, but I think they can really just add a little bit more sauce, a little bit more aggression to this package. The engine, yes. The 1.6 liter turbo. And obviously too, I don't speak too much about reliability with these vehicles because I mean, you know, this is a review showing you all the creature comforts and features. But as far as reliability, the 8-speed automatic is a huge improvement. And you know, I'm definitely I don't know why I can't talk right now. I need my coffee. I haven't eaten all day, but I think the 8-speed automatic is definitely going to be a more proven transmission versus the 7-speed DCT transmission. But that's all I have to say about this unique K4. I love the color combination, like all the features. I talked about things that I didn't like as much, but yeah, this is basically going to wrap this video. This is Chris signing out, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.